if you listen to the other episode, where you get brownie points if you did.
Hello, hello. I'm Strider, your host here at Author in the Headlights, and thank you for joining us. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and you won't miss a single episode. Today, we've got Steve back with us. Steve Puri. Good morning, Steve.
Hello there. I think I'm with you because AI is going to eat all of our lunches, right? AI is going to write everything now. That's what we're
Well,
going to talk about, right?
you know.
Just go on
Don't
vacation.
worry about it.
Strider, just go on vacation. AI will write the book.
Now, this is your second time on our show. You were here
Very
several
honored.
weeks ago, and we
Yeah.
talked about the flow state, how to achieve it, how that works for creative endeavors. I think it
Yes.
was like, what if we didn't have to struggle to be creative? You know,
Yes. So let's
um,
do, if it's fair, a really quick recap so
let's
everyone's
do
on
a
the same
quick
page.
recap. Go for
Even
that.
if you listen to the other episode, where you get brownie points if you did, for those listening. So what Strider and I talked about is I've become very passionate the past 10 years about flow states, which initially were thought to be kind of like mumbo jumbo, like, is it real? You get this state of concentration. But they've done a bunch of research, including sticking people in fMRIs to see how their brains change. And there is indeed a neurostate where you can concentrate, you kind of lose track of time, distractions become less interesting, and you do your best work more quickly than you think you can. And at the end of it, you can actually feel a sense of uplift or joy as opposed to depletion and being tired. The website that I run, Suka, for getting to a flow state, one of our biggest cohorts is writers because you have to sit and go deep and create something great.
Okay, now we did a great job with that. But we left off, we simply didn't have time to talk about AI and
Mm-hmm.
LLMs, which is
Yep.
a large language model, which is what we all know. We talk to it, it listens to what we talk to, and it comprehends that and comes back with something
Does it really
project.
comprehend its Strider? Let's talk about that. And I do appreciate that you parsed apart AI and LLMs because obviously AI is
It's an outreach
expansive.
of
It
the other,
includes,
right?
yeah, exactly. It's machine learning and deep learning and like lots of things. And people often conflate them now. They just call LLMs AI, but there's a lot more to AI. So let's talk about LLMs, which is really what we're talking about, which, as you said, the fact that you can give it a natural language prompt and it gives you back natural language gives the impression it's thinking. It's like I talked to you. It's like, Sweater, what do you
Oh,
think about the
wait a
weather or
minute.
whatever? Right?
It's not?
Excuse me?
Of course it
Yeah,
is. I
well,
say,
let's wait for it.
hey,
Okay. So
chat. It sounds to me like it talks back to me.
it does talk back to you, but it doesn't actually think in the way in which we think. And let me explain that because it's really important when we think about, when you discuss or ponder our own position in the world as creators, as writers. Here's the interesting thing. When you look at LLMs, they are trained on everything that we've done. They're sort of like, hey, humans, we read all your books, read all your blogs, looked all your YouTube transcripts. We get a sense of all the things you like, right? They've looked at history. So in the present, when you say, hey, write me a screenplay, an action adventure thing, da, 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 what the LLM does is it's assigned essentially almost like a point in space to every data token that it's encountered and said, okay, here's where the points in space about kings are. Here's where the points in space are at candy bars. Here's the points in space about weapons. And it kind of knows the patterns that it's seen. So when you say, hey, write me an action adventure novel or a screenplay or something like that, right? It says, I looked at history. You know what? You probably human, you want more of the same. I'm going to give you a 35-year-old white male with a scruffy beard. His name is probably Jack. And you're going to love it because you love stuff like that, right? So here's the thing. What it does is LM's pulled past into the present. They just keep the pattern going. So where do humans fit in? We
That's a
look
good
to the
question.
future. It is really about how do you break the pattern? How do you, as a creator, as an artist of words, how do you say, well, the future of this genre or this writing or this blog is actually extending the frontier. It's not just repeating the pattern, which the LLM does cheaper and faster than you can. It's saying, where are you going to push it forward? How are you going to break the pattern and do something interesting? And that's where the opportunity really is, because the LLM is not going to do that. The LLM is going to say, I get what you want because you did it before. Let's just do it more of it.
Yeah, it
That
doesn't
makes sense.
create uniquely, it
Yeah,
creates patternly.
correct.
And
It
so
is
do
like,
we.
but the thing is, it's like Google. You know, when Google launched like auto correct in your Gmail, and you'd be typing, and then it put an S at the end of the words. It's like, oh, it's you use a plural verb. I'm guessing this noun has to be plural. And I was like, oh, okay, that's helpful because it just sort of said, let me predict the next letter, probably S. The LLM is just autocomplete on steroids. It says, let me guess the next word. Let me guess the next thought. And by assembling that together, it gives the illusion of thought because it's mimicking what humans have already written. Exactly.
That's the human mind. We create uniquely. And
Yeah.
in fact, I was speaking with an agent not long ago, and they
Ooh.
said they were looking for something unique because so much is in pattern that it's all the same. They
Mm-hmm.
want something different. So it's very, at this point, impossible for a computer, an AI, large language model, to think uniquely because it merely follows pattern.
You said it perfectly. It is designed not to be unique. It's designed to say, I know what you've done. Let's do more.
Okay, now where do we draw that line? We speak
Mm-hmm.
mostly to authors and readers and things like that. And really, I would say the vast majority of us don't want a computer to write all these books, right? I'm an author. We want to write those books. We want
Mm-hmm.
people to read our unique book,
Mm-hmm.
even though most of them are similar in concept, which is why we have genres, right? I want to read
That
a
is
mystery.
exactly right.
So you don't
Yes.
go to the Westerns. You don't go to romance, though they cross genres also, which makes them a little bit unique.
So going back to what you said though, because I know you give some great short podcasts about here are helpful thoughts, here are ways to think about writing, here's a way to craft your career, craft your mind. And the thing you brought up, as I mentioned to you when we were talking before, I get asked a lot the past few months to talk about where does AI, where does LLM, sort of thinking fit into being an author today. And if you embrace that thought of saying, oh, you know what, I'm never going to write faster and more cheaply than all the electrons that are just copying yesterday. My thing is, how do I go deep and actually move the frontier back or break the pattern? That is something, whereas we were talking about in the last episode, flow states are really helpful because that is when you get to go in and, as Charles Limb, that guy at Johns Hopkins, did the research to say what happens neurochemically in a flow state. And what he found was like with jazz musicians that reported they crossed over into flow. Like suddenly they were one with the music in their trio. They weren't three guys playing, they were a trio creating the music. Or with freestyle rappers was another one where it's like they lost that second guessing, the self editing, self conscious part of creation, and you were just in the flow. So when he did that and he found, oh, what happens is the prefrontal cortex right behind your forehead that's responsible for a lot of that second guessing, self-conscious, sort of thought, that shuts down. It goes off a cliff when you drop into flow. So flow can really help you when you're saying, you know what, I need to spend an hour or two and find what is the version of this scene that hasn't been seen before, but still emotionally seems true. And you don't get that in 5 minute installments of like, oh, I'm sort of distracted. I'm kind of checking my email. I'm kind of doing this. And no, you do that by sometimes writing the bad version and then rewriting it and then rewriting it and finding the truth through rewriting where you go, this is both, as you would say, unique.
Yeah, I would call it a problem. My problem as a writer,
Yeah.
which is not a problem because there is no right way to write and no wrong way to write. I am a pantser from the minute I sit down. I will try to write out an outline. Oh, here's I want this is cool. I've got this concept going out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start writing the concept, the outline. And that outline almost immediately turns out to be the prose. And I just keep writing. It's like, oh, wait, I started out writing an outline. And now I've got the book here.
Okay, so let me say that back to you. That's interesting because I have obviously talked to a lot of writers groups. So you start out with the intention of let me outline the plot. Here's what the book or the the story will be. But as you get into that, you realize you're starting to already write the
I'm
chapters, write the
already
pieces.
writing once I sit down there. When I get into that state, that is not even a thought. The
Right.
story, you've probably heard this many times, the story writes itself.
Yeah, you're in
I'm going
flow.
along and all these things are just happening and coming about. And I go back and it's like, wow, that's not where I was planning on going with this. And sometimes I've had to throw out whole chapters. They no longer connect. Here's the
Yes.
story. It's taking this big curve and loop and it's doing these weird things. And I never planned that. It takes a little time to get there. Like I said, it doesn't start with word one. I start
Yeah.
out doing a thing, but as soon as I start writing,
You
in
get
just
into
a few
flow.
minutes, it's
Yeah.
there.
I You are not unique in your process of finding that flow
Oh
and
man, I
suddenly,
was looking for unique.
yeah. No, but you're that's the thing is like you find this among great artists, great creators, is they have their techniques to get into flow. And then in flow, like you said, you're not self-judging, self-conscious, self-critical, second guessing. You are almost like you said, following the story and just taking dictation from the muses. You're like, this is where the story naturally goes, which, as you said, means that sometimes preconceived notions of like this scene belongs near down the road turn out to not actually fit anymore in the story. We call it in film, we call it killing your babies, where you're like, I love this scene, but it actually doesn't work with this version of the
It's
story
true.
anymore.
It's true. And for those of you out there that are writers, if that happens, I have found you can take that chapter and put it as bonus material. Oh, look what didn't happen in the story. You know, add it to your web page and say, oh, here's a thing, or
The
say
other chapter
the
17.
stories, another book. Because it's hard to write, say 5,000 word chapter and to throw that 5,000 words out. How long did it take you to write that? Now, how do you connect um, flow state data with the
Mhm.
AI? Is it just, do you have two separate things that you do and look at, or do you find them bound together?
I appreciate your asking that question because it's a really generous question. Was we were designing our flow state website, Suka, one of the things we thought is, in what way do we offer the intelligence, like the helpfulness of AI, but not in a way that sort of feels like, oh, well, you humans are superfluous. Like we don't need you around anymore, right? The way in which we thought about that is really about human problems, like talking to over the years, hundreds, if not thousands of writers. You hear the patterns of, oh, this is how I procrastinate. Oh, I don't know how to start, the empty page problem, like the cold start problem, the friction of, yes. And then during the course of work, the distraction problem of like, well, I write, and then sometimes I go to research something about Elizabethan England, and that leads to a Wikipedia page, that leads to a YouTube video, and that leads to thing, and then an hour's gone by. They are very common. Those two things I've heard hundreds of times. When you say, hey, you know what I want to do is I want to write my next novel. It's going to be about this period ghost story, right? That's not a task. That's a goal. That's going to take months
True.
minimum, right? For some writers, decades. Hopefully not you,
Well,
right? You know what I'm talking about. We thought, wouldn't it be helpful for AI to say, hey, you know what? Let me look at what you're looking to do and break that down into little pieces that are very achievable, like 15 to 30-minute chunks where you could look at that and say, oh, I have an hour to write today. And it gives you a very clear roadmap. So that we thought was a really helpful use of AI to say, let's help you just ease into this by breaking your tasks down, making them accessible, not scary. And then the other part, and this is the part I find more fun, and I'm about to launch something new here, is when you're working, and I don't know about you, Strider, but I'll be super honest. I created Suga because I am bad at working. Like I do get distracted and go down rabbit holes, or I get frustrated, and then I open up my phone and I check my WhatsApp and I check my email and that thing, right? And I don't get my work
Yep.
done. At 6 o'clock, I'm like, where did the day go? Which is a horrible feeling, right? So this is what we did. We said, what if you had a little AI assistant that, when you did open Reddit or Facebook or pick up your phone, whatever, looked at what it was and said to you, like, hey, man, is that helping you? So that's how we use AI to say, like, can we nudge you when you fall off track? Can we break stuff down so it's less scary and more achievable rather than, hey, why don't I just write this for you? It's like, that's not fun for me. It's not fun for a reader.
And certainly I actually do use it that way. Okay, here's what I got happening today. I got to make sure I have time to do this, this, this. Okay. It puts, then I suggest you, it really does. I
Yeah.
suggest you do this, break this here, and then time, and then you have time to go. It's almost intuitively intelligent, but it would tell me what I would be telling myself if I was sitting there listening to me instead of it.
Right. And it's a great tool for you in that way, isn't it?
It is. Yep.
Completely with you. This
So
has been the good AI episode for us.
hey, yeah, and we are running way long, which is
Oh, I know.
great
Okay.
because that means we
Yep.
are moving,
This
and
is
I
true. It
love
has
it.
been great to come back. Thank you for having me.
Yep. And we will have the link to you so people can contact you if they have questions or, hey, I need to hear more. We will have that down below. They can drop to. Thank you so much for being with us, Steve. This has been Steve Puri, and we've been talking about the flow state and AI and LLMs. And watch both shows if you haven't. I'm Strider, your host here at Author in the Headlights. And until next time.